To securely backup and restore resources across different AWS accounts or customize IAM roles with specific permissions, you need to integrate these roles into Veeam Backup for AWS. Using only the default backup restore IAM role isn't recommended, as it might grant excessive permissions, potentially exposing your resources to security risks. Hi, I'm Julia with Veeam, and today we'll show you how to add cross-account IAM roles in Veeam Backup for AWS. Let's get started. Let's start by clicking Add and giving it a name and a description if you want. This is going to be my disaster recovery role. Click Next. Here you can see that you have 4 options. Create an IAM role from your current account, where your Veeam Backup for AWS resides, create an IAM role from another account, create a new IAM role. But for this option, you need to provide a one-time access key and secret key for an IAM user authorized to create IAM roles in that account, or create a CloudFormation or JSON template that can be used to create an IAM role using the AWS Management Console. I'm going to show you how to add an IAM role from another account, but if you have any questions about the other options, feel free to leave them in the area below or refer to the Veeam Backup for AWS documentation. As you can see, we have to add a pre-created cross-account IAM role that has the permissions. So let's do it. First, you have to go to your account where your Veeam Backup for AWS resides. Copy the account ID and paste it somewhere because we're going to need it soon. Now let's log in into our disaster recovery account. Now, in our disaster recovery account, go to the IAM console. Under Access Management, click on Roles. Then click Create a Role. In this step, we're going to choose AWS account. And here, we're going to choose another AWS account. In the account ID, we're going to add the ID of where we've deployed our Veeam Backup for AWS appliance, the one that we've just copied. If you want to increase the security of the role, in case you're going to share it with a third-party company, for example, you can select the Require External ID checkbox and enter a password, or Require MFA. Click Next. At the Permissions step of the wizard, select an IAM policy to be attached to the IAM role. I have already created an IAM policy, so I'm going to select that, but if you need help, I'll leave a link in the description below for how to do that and the IAM permissions that you can assign to your IAM role. Click Next. Here, specify a role name. I'm going to say Disaster Recovery IAM role, and a description if you want. Review the trusted entities, the permissions that we've added, and you can add tags if you want. Then click Create Role. Now let's go back to our Veeam Backup for AWS console. Here, we're going to specify the account ID of our disaster recovery account, which is the trusting AWS account that we want to access. Then the IAM role name we just created, which is Disaster Recovery IAM role. And an external ID, which is a property in the trust policy of the cross-account IAM role used for enhanced security. If you haven't specified an external ID when creating the role, Veeam Backup will just ignore that. Click Next. Here, you can verify if your IAM role has the permissions that you want, and the IAM role that we are creating should be able to perform restore operations of Amazon EC2s. Click Apply. Now click Next, and as you see, it will perform permission check when I click Finish. And we're going to click Finish. And here you can see that our IAM role has all the required permissions needed to perform the operations that we wanted.
In case you didn't have the necessary permissions, you could also grant the permissions through Veeam Backup for AWS or export the missing permissions and apply them on your AWS account.
And that's it! Now you're equipped to securely manage cross-account IAM roles in Veeam Backup for AWS, ensuring your resources stay safe and compliant. By selecting specific IAM roles for Veeam Backup for AWS, you're only granting the necessary permissions, reducing potential risks, and following the principle of least privilege. This approach keeps your AWS environment secure and well managed. Stay tuned for our upcoming videos where we'll dive into protecting your AWS workloads. If you have any questions, feel free to drop a comment below or refer to the Veeam Backup for AWS documentation. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel to stay updated on our latest content releases. Thanks for watching!